last supplementary question will be asked by Honorable S.N. Swart.
Thank you, House Chair. Honourable Minister, the ACDP supports the road-to-rail policy to reduce the number of large trucks on the roads and to reduce the number of fatal accidents. But we're also acutely aware that Transnet was targeted during state capture, and as you pointed out, is also recovering from the KZN floods earlier this year. I was going to ask you, Honourable Minister, about the issue relating to criminal justice and the criminal syndicates and the forums, and that was covered by my colleague and responded to you. So if I may, with your permission, then ask about an issue you raised about the locomotives. When we did, and that is transpired in the state capture report about the South China Rail and the locomotive deal, is it foreseen that locomotives will be provided and that spares will be provided, given the fact that, as you pointed out, that is one of the major challenges in Transnet Freight Rail, is the issue relating to locomotives arising from some of the suspect transactions that were highlighted during the state capture report. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Minister.
Chairperson, Honourable Swart is my reference point for all of the activities under state capture. So he makes that important point. Secondly, in the last few months, there's been a lot of progress in negotiating with the original equipment manufacturers that come from China, but they come from other parts of the world as well, including the involvement of companies like Alstom, which has taken over some of the bombardier facilities that we're operating in South Africa. So there's a bit more work to do in order to have consistent supply of parts, the usage of those parts by Transnet Engineering in a more efficient way to get what are called long-standing locomotives that are already in the country, but which cannot be utilized because of the lack of parts or inability to maintain and repair them. And thirdly, to ensure that the right kind of technical expertise is provided by the original equipment manufacturers. Because one of the problems with contracts signed during the state capture period was that maintenance contracts and arrangements were not adequately made. At the same time, and this is my last point, there are outstanding supplies that still need to be provided by the various companies that were part of the 1064 deal, so to speak, earlier in the 2016-2017 period, and before that as well. And hopefully these discussions that have been taking place and the arrangements that are being reached will ensure that new locomotives also make their way into South Africa sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.